Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
All right, Vikings Vent Line every Sunday right here on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Shout out to everyone who has liked or subscribed to the Purple Daily YouTube channel or podcast feed. We appreciate that. This is Vikings Vent Line. If you're stumbling on this show for the first time, this is a show for you, the Vikings fan. If you'd like to come on a future episode, talk draft, talk offseason, talk upcoming expectations, you can discuss anything you'd like with me, basically. This is a show for you, the Vikings fans. I'm going to have my guys Dave and Tony on here in just a little bit to talk about exactly that, offseason, some draft stuff. Really excited to hear what Vikings fan has to say. So if you'd like to be in on one of these episodes, you can shoot me a note. It's vikingsventline@gmail.com. That's vikingsventline@gmail.com. I monitor that throughout the week and schedule these episodes out. So appreciate everyone who has wanted to come on or has been a repeat guest on the show. Vikings Vent Line is a regular show during the regular season with Mackie, Judd, and myself, where we come on here right after the game ends and bring fans on. So we appreciate everyone that's been on the show with us before and all the new faces that are welcome to join us too. By the way, Purple Daily and Vikings Vent Line sponsored by our friends at Popcorn. Everyone at the Purple Daily draft party, which is sold out, I know, but if you did get a ticket, you will be getting a free flag that you can wave with Judd, courtesy of our friends at Popcorn here in Minneapolis, St. Paul. They're located in Minnetonka, just a little bit west of the Twin Cities of Minneapolis. Great spot. Go check them out. Delicious popcorn. You can order it, too, from anywhere you'd like. Go to popcorn.com to find out more. Let's get our guys in here. Let's get Dave in, who has been a regular guest on Vent Line before, and our guy, Tony. I mean, Tony is not messing around with the wardrobe today. I like it. How you doing, guys?
Doing great.
Awesome, fellas. Well, Dave, I'm going to go to Tony here first. I know you've been on Vent Line before, but Tony, why don't you explain a little bit on your Vikings fandom, because it's a very unique club. You're in Tennessee, and in fact, I think some of our Purple Daily audience are aware of it, but why don't you give us a little history here of why you're a huge Vikings fan and what club you're really a part of here?
Well, that's probably the question I get more than any other is, why are you a Vikings fan? You lived in Tennessee your whole life. And my standard answer is I like getting my butt kicked and my heart broke, so where else would I go? But that's just joking. My first memory of the Vikings was 1969 in the Super Bowl. I was 7 years old. I was born the year the Vikings started playing. And nobody in my family liked pro football. Nobody liked the Vikings. But how could, as a kid, you not like the Purple People Eaters and Joe Cap? And they lost, and I probably would probably let it go at that. But that summer, a kid moved in across the street and came over to say, hey, want to be friends, and he had a Viking shirt on. So
okay.
Him and me were the only two Viking fans in Tennessee, as far as I could tell, for 20 years. And we just had each other's back, and people make fun of us. We'd just say, bring it on. We're Viking fans. So yeah, we've been Viking fans for 50 whatever years. So there it is.
Awesome, man.
I grew up in Knoxville. Harrison Smith, his house was about 15 miles from where I grew up. He went to the same high school I went to, Knoxville Catholic. And
yeah, Hitman jersey on with Dave there. I like it.
Yeah, in 91, I moved down here and was just looking for empty bars on Sunday with a 10-foot satellite dish to watch the game at, and hoping NASCAR fans didn't show up and they turn the game off. And in 92, I got one. Fan called me and said, I found a bar we can go to. So there were 9 of us at that time. We have average probably 150 or so fans at the bars now. And we've been over 200 a few times. And it just grew from there. And like I say, you had to be hardcore back then because you might not see a Viking game for 10 years down in Knoxville. They didn't show the Vikings. So.
Yeah, shout out to John Taffer, the bar rescue guy who kind of helped launch Sunday Ticket. I know he was the one who kind of put those in bars everywhere, and then the NFL bought it. They got Sunday Ticket on, and hopefully guys like Tony weren't getting bumped in Tennessee for NASCAR and whatnot. So that is awesome. And then you're part of the you're the president of the Nashville Norsemen too. The Vikings.
Nashville Norsemen. Yeah, been there 20. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and they are in Tennessee this year too, right? The Vikings are going to play the
Vikings play in Tennessee, so I want to invite everybody to come down. This is only the third time they played in Nashville on a regular season. Ziggy Wilf tailgated with us in 08. Mark Wilf tailgated with us in 16. We had almost 4,000 people at our tailgate. And so, like I said, this year we're going to even try to beat that. So
very cool, man. Yeah, excited for anyone going down the Titans in Tennessee. go see our guy Tony. Go tailgate with him. Should be an absolute blast. You won't be hard to miss. Look at that guy. You'll be able to find him, I think, no problem.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's the horn. There you go.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, boys, let's get into some offseason discussion here. So I've had a lot of draft talk, and we'll certainly get into that here in just a bit. But I do want to know, and Dave, I'll start with you here. What has been your favorite offseason move thus far? This has been a really active offseason for the Vikings. Which move really stands out to you early on so far?
This is one of the most exciting off seasons I've ever seen in all my years of being a Vikings fan. And it's really hard to pick one thing. I mean, Grenard, Cashman, Van Ginkel, they're all absolute studs. I think Flores has got to be stoked about that. But if I had to pick one, I mean, just because I like drinking the tears of Packer fans, I got to say Aaron Jones is just icing on the cake. If he can stay healthy, we have got a stud in the backfield. So just out of spite, maybe more than anything else, I think that's the coolest move we made.
Yeah, a lot of Vikings fans like to poke, and the Vikings have been doing it for years, right? I mean, from Favre and Longwell and Jennings, there's been a long running kind of poaching there that's happened, and hopefully he fixes the running game. I mean, Alexander Madison obviously kind of wasn't it as a starter to a degree. I mean, do you think he has still a good amount left in the tank, Dave, that maybe Kevin O'Connell gets more out of him? Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, look at his last 5 games last year. It was a totally different team once he was on the field. So absolutely. I hope it's the same for our offense.
Heck yeah. Tony, how about you, man? Go ahead, Dave. You have one more thing there?
I was just going to say, I think it'd be really cool if he outperformed Jacobs and we can drink even more tears of the Packer fans.
Yes, that'd be fantastic. We'll see what he does for him. He loves revenge games, I'm sure. So I'm sure he's about to run all over Green Bay, both here in Minneapolis and then when they obviously travel there as well. Tony, how about you? What's been your favorite offseason move so far?
Well, I agree with Dave on everything he said. There's so many great moves. I love that we got some value players that are good players on defense. I hate Neil had to go. I hate that Kurt had to go, but they had to happen. We couldn't afford them, and they deserve to make the money, so that's fine. I love the Aaron Jones thing. I have a friend who's a big Packer fan, and it just tears him up. I hope he rushes for 200 yards on both games when we play the Packers. I love that we got cap space finally. That's important. Kwesi's just been hitting bullseyes this off season. So my personal favorite is Hitman staying with us because he's a Knoxville boy. I just love that he's going to be here and retire here and then move back to Knoxville and he'll come watch games with us. Maybe we'll see. So, but yeah, the Aaron Jones thing is great. All 3 of those defensive players that we got, they're great and clearing money. I mean, not necessarily a player. But next year we'll have money. Hopefully we get a quarterback. We'll see.
What about you, Dave? Do you think Harrison Smith still has a good amount left? I mean, you're rocking his jersey today. I know you're probably a big fan.
I love Harry. How do you not? How much he has left, that's up to him. If he wants to play, he's going to give it all he's got, He's done it for years. He's got shades of Greenway in him, taking all these cuts and sticking around for the long haul. I love it.
He does. Yeah, and I mean, maybe a Hall of Famer. Probably not first ballot. I don't think he's sexy enough from a league perspective or from like a voting perspective to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But I mean, for sure, a Ring of Honor guy in the Vikings, maybe a Hall of Fame case. And yeah, I would love to see Harrison Smith doing some tailgate with Tony down there in Nashville. And that'd be awesome, man. Or in Oxford. Yeah. That'd be awesome. Yeah. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, maybe it'll come true. Like Paul Krause was my favorite player in the 70s when I was a kid, and nobody could wear 22. That's Paul Krause's number. Harrison Smith, he can wear 22. Okay. He's the first player that I've said, and he can wear 22. Okay. That's personally maybe not the move that's going to make the most impact on the team, but my favorite move, keeping Harrison.
Dave, what is your ideal draft plan for the Vikings here? So they got 2 first-round picks. There's obviously a big, assumption they're going to get a quarterback, but what would you like to see the Vikings do at the draft this year?
That's really hard to answer. There are so many ways this could go that I'd be totally satisfied with. I hope KOC and McCown can get their guy, whoever it is. I know my personal board looks a little different than some people's. I'm not big on Jaden Daniels. I think he's, the next RG3, maybe good for a year and be injured. I hope I'm wrong, but, I'm big on JJ. I'm big on Penix. I'm big on, Drake may be cool. I'm fine with any of those options. If we are able to get someone and still have a second first round pick this year, like someone like Penix falls to us, I would love that. And keeping our first round next year, obviously, when our cap space goes even further up. I guess that would be ideal, but I wouldn't fault them at all if they jumped up and got their guy. I wouldn't feel bad about that either.
So you're out on Jaden Daniels, but are you in on one of the? I mean, you like Penix, but are you in on trading up for like Drake May or McCarthy, or how would you?
I like McCarthy better than Drake May. He's my number 2 on my board, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I see the ceiling of May. I see why people like him. I wouldn't hate it. I mean, again, I got to trust the coaches at that point. They're pros. They've got a whole scouting department. Me sitting watching the little tape that I have and listening to people chat about it is pretty. I'm not going to call myself an expert, that's for sure. But personally, I like JJ, but I'd be happy with any of them.
Okay, Tony, how about you?
Except for Daniels.
Except for
Dave's still in all my talking points. I'm the exact same way. I'd love to get a quarterback, but you're going to trade up, and I don't care what you have to pay to get your guy. You go do it, and but it's like a marriage. You don't say I'll marry any one of those 4 girls. I don't care. You got to have the one you want and do whatever it takes. And if you can't get the one you want, then just drop down. Maybe number 11, you can take the best defensive tackle in the draft. And then 23, Penix might be there. And, that would be fantastic. Or late first round, early second round is more like asking a girl to move in with you. It's still, you don't want to just say any of these girls can move in with me. You still want your guy, but it's not like marriage. And then you just wait till day 3, and that's like asking a pretty girl on a date. You just draft 3 quarterbacks and see if anybody works out. But as long as they get their person, you don't pull a Ponder. And I know I hate to be Ponder because he's just everybody. That's the example everybody brings up, and I know he's got to say, "Quit talking about me," but it's not his fault that they reached and that they just did. And so my dream scenario would be they get their guy and he works out. Nightmare scenario is they trade up and get a quarterback that can't play and is gone in 2 years. But yeah, there's so many options. I won't mind if they just wait. If their guy's gone, they wait and take some. We need defensive tackle, really, and we could get a great one at 11. I mean, the game changer. Vikings and defensive tackles are historically. That's what they do. Alan Page, Keith Millard, John Randall, Kevin Williams. Defensive tackles have made our team for our entire history, and so that wouldn't bother me either. I'm really excited. As far as which quarterback, I learned years ago, I never pick the right quarterback, so I just trust them to do it. I'll grade other things, but quarterbacks, those people work 40 years in the business and can't pick them. So you just have to trust that your people can. So.
Dave, do you trust that even Sam Darnold can be a bridge? What's your kind of expectations for him?
Yeah, I'm with KOC. I think he can take a big step. This could be his best year. There's a possibility we draft someone, like if we're waiting, maybe we get someone like Rattler, or, go way back and get our D tackle and maybe an offensive lineman and trade 11 back, or I don't know. Kwesi's he's playing chess, man. I'm a checkers kind of guy, but, whatever he's doing, I gotta have faith. Other than seeing, I think he's done pretty good here through the last couple of years and this year especially. Darnold, yeah, I'd love to see. I hope he starts this year at least, and I'm excited to see what he can do. Even.
What about you, Tony? Is Sam Darnold the answer as a bridge quarterback? Is he just more of the clipboard holder and placement until the rookie's ready to go? What's your kind of expectations for Darnold?
Well, this year is just. I'm really excited. I don't expect us to go to the Super Bowl, but we've got interesting players that like Darnold. I mean, we're talking about trading up to 3 this year to get our quarterback. He was a 3rd pick quarterback. I mean, the Jets and Panthers could mess up anybody. Hopefully haven't permanently messed him up. And I'm interested to see if he's got something or KFC can bring it out. And I mean, that could be fun. He could be good. And that's what I say with a lot of these players. We got a lot of players like Aaron Jones. I'm excited to see what they can do. And like I say, I don't expect to go to Super Bowl this year. I'd love it if we did, but we got a lot of exciting players and the future is looking bright because we'll have plenty of money and it should be a fun year.
Absolutely. What do you think, Tony? KOC and Kwesi on track to get extensions before the season starts. You kind of want to let things play out a little bit. How would you kind of want to lock up those guys as they enter year 3 out of their 4-year deal?
I think yes. I mean, unless they totally mess up the draft, and we wouldn't even know that this year. So I think they found their feet. I've always thought Kwesi was a little too much of a stock market guy. Like the first year, he said, well, an analogy, you could take Randy Moss. He's rated at 99. Or you could take KJ Osborne, Jerome Simpson, and Kadre Ishmael. They're ranked about 65, 70. A cumulative 200 points. That's twice the value. No, that's not the way the Super Bowl works. And I think that's what he did with Scene. He said, we can get Scene in Booth and pass on Hamilton. And I was saying, I didn't know if I agreed, but I trusted him. And he should have taken Hamilton. And I think he's starting to realize that you can't just buy penny stocks like you would in the stock market. And he's found his feet this year, and he's making great moves, getting great value players. So I think, we need to sign JJ. He needs to get his extension. But, I think KOC and Kwesi are probably due for an extension, this year, and that would probably be before training camp.
Dave, same thing, or do you want to see a season maybe play out a little bit?
Nah, I think as long as the draft goes good and we re-sign JJ, handle business first, I think they're good to be extended. I'm not done with the ride. I don't think the Wilfs are. I don't think the fans are. I think we're all excited to see what's coming here in the next couple of years.
And Dave, you're all good with paying Justin Jefferson. I mean, I wouldn't say pay him whatever he wants, but you're good locking him up. Obviously, that's priority.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I you got to pay JJ. He's a superstar. Everyone loves him. He's everyone's favorite. Highlight reels every week.
Especially if they get JJ McCarthy. I mean, the JJ to JJ situation is going to be
plenty of room in our locker room for JJs, right?
Yeah, I love that comment from KOC. That is also very true. Boys, before we wrap up here, Dave, any shout outs, any last takes you kind of want to get off your chest here on Vikings Vent Line? Go for it, man.
Let's just screw over Sean Payton. All right, let's keep him on the back burner. I want them to be stuck with nothing. Him and his little skull clap in our house, like him in 2009, even last year, man. Let's just leave him with nothing. I want him crying all week, all month, all season. Outside of that, my shout outs, big shout out to my mom. She was my sports mom. She worked at universities. We moved around a lot, and she's the one that really took me to all of my sports growing up. Shout out to my brother-in-law. He listens to every one of your shows. So I'd be remiss if I didn't mention him. And shout out to my youngest kid. Last time I was on Vent Line, she made Judd wave this flag so many times that the next day he complained about it.
That's right. Okay, I remember that. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Tony, how about you, buddy? Any shout outs, any other last takes you'd love to fire off? Go ahead.
Yeah, my shout outs to our fan club. We have the best fan club in the country, hands down. I'd put us up against anybody. I also want to just a shout out to here on my vest. I have the names of members who have passed away. I wear them over my heart.
Sure.
You can see it.
There you go.
Over the years, my buddy David, who was the guy who got me, my best friend, he passed away in 2018 of cancer while we were watching a Viking game. So shout out to him and our passed away members, and maybe talk to the man upstairs and have him give us a little push toward the Super Bowl. I mean, we'll see it. And I really just want everybody to come down to Nashville. I want to turn the stadium purple. I've already got like 500 people requesting group tickets. So we'll see what's going there. We got 400 last time they came all together because the Titans kind of stunk it up the year before. That was the opening game of 2016.
That's right, yeah.
The Teddy's leg had just fallen off, and we had a big Teddy's for Teddy. We collected 800 teddy bears for Toys for Tots and the children's hospitals and all that kind of stuff. We may do something like that again this year. Hopefully nobody's leg falls off. But come down to see us. Come down, do a show down here. You bring Phil and Judd, and you come down and do a show. We have a blast. So I'm excited about this year. I'm excited about Vikings coming here. Excited to see how we do with all these players. Excited to have a bright future. Future just looks like we're going to be going up from here. I love it.
I love it.
Skull.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Go see Tony in Tennessee. Dave, I know you're down in Iowa. Oh my God. You will not miss that guy. I'm telling you, if you're down in Tennessee and you're a little bit lost and for whatever reason you connect with them before.
Hold on, we have our skull chant drum out and this, and we take over the place. So you won't miss us.
I love it, man. Boys, thank you so much. Appreciate it. If you want anyone who's listening, watching, you want to come on a future episode, hit me up. It's VikingsVentLine@gmail.com. Appreciate you. We'll be back on Monday at full strength. Hit that subscribe button for daily Vikings entertainment.